Hello, hello. I wanted to just drop in and give you a little bit of the mythology of Chiron and Chariklo. And why that's important is we are going to be going into a really beautiful meditation and healing journey in our circle on Friday, June 13th, our Moon Medicine and Mystical Musings community circle. You're very welcome to join. I'd love to see you there. And both Chiron and Chariklo are going to be coming in to bring in some really beautiful deep healing in their energy of union, in assisting in either the awareness and or the release of some of these deep-rooted wounds and being able to alchemize them into healing, wisdom, and empowerment. So if you want kind of the deeper synopsis of their mythology, you can go watch my YouTube video. It was our last community circle, new moon in Gemini, 5/28/25. You can skip to minute 20, and that will go into the mythology in a deeper realm. But here, just very briefly, so typically I'm going to share with you two myths and why it's important to have both. So the myth number one that's more common is Chiron, who is a centaur, half human, half horse, ends up getting mortally wounded by a poisoned arrow. And because he is immortal, he has this weeping perpetual wound that he cannot heal. And so this instigates his journey to try to find every course of action to heal himself. So he just was already an adept teacher and healer, but then he goes even deeper. He is on this journey of learning energetic, spiritual, physical healing, every modality imaginable. He's just confronting it, doing it, learning all the tools, and over time in his quest to heal, he becomes this amazing adept healer and able to then teach it onto his students. And as this myth goes, it was only in his surrendering, meaning once he accepted that no matter what he did, he would always carry this wound. And once he came into acceptance around that, he was able to unlock the keys to his freedom. There was the freedom for him in stepping into the awareness and consciousness of that, and then working with the wound instead of against it. And then it goes his wife Chariklo. She was a priestess of Vesta, and she was also an adept healer, shamaness, in her own right, was helping her husband on his quest for healing, and also became just an incredibly adept healer. But she also has her own priestess lineage and energy, and there really wasn't a lot around Chariklo. So a couple of years ago, I had my natal chart reading done by a really beautiful astrologer, Sarah, and I will drop her name in the comments. And the Cosmic Finder, you can find her on Instagram and Facebook. And so she did my first natal chart reading. This was, I want to say, almost 4 years ago. And it just blew my mind. And I had some understanding of astrology, but being able to go into this with her was so transformational. And it really kickstarted my love and my journey for astrology. And so Chiron and Chariklo always caught my eye. And then as I started to delve deeper into what my Chiron wound was, because there's, like I said, a lot more information around Chiron and the wounding. So in your chart, you'd look at the placement of it, right? With the planetary alignments and the sign, and then also the house that it's in. And so I found out, okay, my Chiron and Chariklo are both in Gemini in the 6th house. And that is a whole nother segue and side reel. I feel my journey of being neurodivergent is very directly related to those houses and placements, and Chiron and Chariklo being there. And so I've been questing, what is the meaning of them both being in this sign together? This wounding for me, I've been exploring it. And finally, this Gemini season kicked off, and I found this new mythology, and it's a little bit different, and it involves a different aspect of Chariklo, and really resonated with where I am in my healing journey too. And so In this story, very similar, Chiron, adept healer, centaur, gets wounded, is on his healing journey. But in this version, he actually meets Chariklo, and she is a water nymph. And so they have like this really beautiful, like little dating love affair as they get to know each other. And she ends up transforming herself, so shape shifting, into a centaur because of her love for him. So this is like the first instance of showing like how transformational love is. It can literally like shapeshift your form. And so she shapeshifts into a centaur. She has this really beautiful marriage with Chiron. They have kiddos together, and then he ends up getting mortally wounded. And so he again starts his journey of healing, of trying to fix it. And Chariklo is really just there, loving him, supporting him, holding him in grace and like deepest love. She's also on this journey with him, so she's also learning, and she is like a healer and shamaness in her own right. But in this mythology, Chiron ends up surrendering to the wound, meaning that like he gives his life for Prometheus. He wants out. He's like, I'm done. I can't heal this. I've done all I can do. I've passed on my knowledge, and I'm ready to be released. And Chariklo like stays with an open heart in that, and like accepts like his wanting to die, and also sacrifice himself for another person. So there's like this noble death in it. But then she is left now, right, with the weeping wound of, her divine love now passing on, and she transformed literally from the water to land, and now he's gone, and she's like, what do I do? And so she's actually the one holding that wound now, of like this perpetual wound of her, this part of her heart being missing, and having to alchemize and heal and be with that. And so really, like, if you look at it from this kind of lens out perspective, like you can look at like Chiron is more definitely like the masculine approach to healing. Like it is like learning all the healing modalities, like confronting it like head on, like just like battle warrior energy, like I'm gonna do it, I'm gonna heal it. It's like the outward journey. And Chariklo's experience is more inward. She is like present. She is like attuned with her partner. She is that emotional inward journey. It is the power, like the fierce freaking power of love. Like sometimes we write off love, but like love is like the most powerful form of energy and transformation. Like love can move mountains. It can dissolve mountains. It can shapeshift us. And so she holds that energy too. And also the inward journey, like where Chiron was outwardly brave with like facing his wound, she is inwardly brave in facing her like shadow self and her emotional wounds. And so the cool part about this is it is turning both of their keys. So in your chart, they are keys. In the natal chart, that's what they look like. So when you experience and honor the journey of Chiron, of the masculine, of the doing, of the healing. You've done all the modalities, you've done all the things, and then like you're dropping into like surrender of like, okay, I know that this thing will always be here with me. Like I surrender to a higher power. I surrender to love or something more. How do I move forward? And then like Chariklo comes in. She's turning the key of like, can you love yourself more? Can you accept all of yourself? Like where can you meet yourself in fierce love, grace, devotion, bringing in the depth of the feminine, of embodiment, of like, your full physical blood, bone wisdom. And in the union of those two, you've turned both of these keys, creates this pathway of this like third co-creative union energy of transformation, of the final alchemy. And for each of you, it will be different, right? We have different aspects in our chart, but like the fundamentals are here. So what I'd love to bring in is like, if you just want to have your natal chart, you want to run your own, you reach out to me. I'll give you like a free little template and you can run your own and see where it is. And you do like a fun intuitive Google spin and go look it up. Like if that's your jam, like let me know. If you want to have a natal chart reading, like I'm offering those on special right now for 88, where we can run your chart and then have a 75-minute session together where we look at your chart and we go through it in a little more depth. And then you can really sit with that and choose your own adventure on where you want to take it next. If you are like, this is singing to me, these archetypes are singing to me, Chiron and Chariklo, the union of both, turning the keys, looking at the deepest wounds that I carry within myself in this current incarnation, and being able to face it with courage and embrace it with love and devotion and compassion, and then be in the energy, in the union of the alchemy and the change. You want a transformation, you're ready for it, then come on a journey with me. We will take an experiential, curated journey just for you. We will have 4 sessions together. We will go through the natal chart. We're gonna that will be session 1. Then in session 2, we're gonna open up to Chariklo, the feminine line, the mother line. We're gonna look at that healing aspect. And then in session 3, we're gonna bring in Chiron. We're gonna bring in the father line. We're gonna bring in those healing elements. And then in the 4th session will be the union, the turning of the key of both, the awareness and acceptance of where some of your deepest wounds may lie, and how you can integrate, heal, accept, love through them. And in that, it becomes empowerment. You are powered, empowered, radiant from the inside out, because there is this deep surrender and acceptance and love that lives within you in both modalities and in both of the weaving of these energies. And so that is what this offering is for. And if this sings to you, like, let me know, reach out. And I hope to see you in our moon circle on Friday. If you can't be there, just register anyways, and then you can watch the replay. And if you have any more questions or are curious, like, respond or reach out. I'm sending you a tremendous amount of love. Mwah.